Okay, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of the MX8000 slash MX9000 breakdown. My name is Mark. For those who are new to the channel, if you haven't seen part 1, please go to part 1 first. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for more notifications, and also give me a comment and a thumbs up. It all helps the channel. Okay, now I take that back. Okay, now I was talking about mix B and mix A, so let me explain the two. Now we're not going to engage mix B for second mix. We're going to use it for monitoring purposes. So if you were, for the sake of monitoring, as an example, right, I'm gonna go to my microphone here. First, let me grab my microphone stand so I don't always have to. Let me come in here and grab my microphone stand so I don't always have to. I don't have to worry about holding the mic. I'm going to grab this microphone stand and I'm going to walk back. Okay, walking back to the kitchen. Okay, makes it easy for me to just put the mic on the mic stand instead of always putting it on the floor. And let me do this. Okay. All right. All right. Makes it easy. All right. There. Makes it easy for me to do this. Okay. Now, based on this switch right here, allows you to switch between the master fader or mix B. You could turn the mix B into a monitoring as an example. All right. So right now, if I undo this, I can talk into the mic, right? Okay. Now, what's great about that is, I can go ahead and I'm listening to, okay. I'm listening to my mic. All right. And what you're hearing is coming through the speakers because I have in the DAW, let me hold the camera properly. I have it on monitor, right? So now the output is coming through this channel for monitoring, right? Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, let me get over here. Turn that off. Okay. All right, make sure I do this right. Okay, so now I can monitor from the channel right here, or I can mute the channel. I'm listening from the channel, right? Or if I don't want to listen to the main output here, if I don't want to listen to the main channel right here, I can go ahead and mute the channel. Now I'm trying to figure out how I muted this channel so it's not coming through the main. So how I'm going to hear my source, even though my mic is on channel 9. All I have to do, okay, now I push that in. I push that button in here on channel 9. Push it in. Now it sends it to the mix B for monitoring. Okay. So I can now monitor through my mix B section, the microphone, unless I turn the volume down. Turn the volume up, volume. Now I can monitor the speaker that way. So you can monitor between mix A and mix B. So mix B becomes a monitor or becomes a secondary mix, right? So because mix B is not engaged, I have it up, the button up, okay? So this doesn't really matter because I have this. Now if I undo this button, now undo this right here. Now you won't hear anything unless I'll turn the channel back on. That now brings it back to the main mix. That brings it back to the main mix, right? Now, let's say I have the main mix, but I want to use this mix B as a secondary mix instead of a monitor. Now I can engage it. Now I can engage that, and I can hear both mix B and A at the same time. So that's how you do that. If that makes sense. Retract. Okay. So just understand that mix A, mix B, or channel A can be used as monitor and match, just like you would on like a real large console that have big faders and small faders. You can use the same concept. Okay. So there you have it. Now, so that's going to conclude that. Other than that, other than the rest of the channels, of course, you have your pan, left, right, your solo, and your mute, and then you have your bus assignments, and then your assignment to the main, to the master bus. Okay. Now, with that being said, there's a few more things. You have your auxiliary sends. Your auxiliary sends are used to send out if you want to set up separate headphone mixes or whatever the case may be. But because this board already have headphone sections, that's what I normally use. But you don't have to use that. You can use an auxiliary for headphones. You can do that. This, like I said before in the other video, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, but 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 3 and 4 can also become 5 and 6 if you just hit the switch button, and that shifts it from 3 to 4 to 5 and 6 in case you want to run 6 separate auxiliaries out of the board. And 3, 4, and 5 and 6 will be shared based on what you want to hear. The returns, you can use the returns as an example. So if I can also send 3 and 4 to mix B if I wanted to, for monitoring or secondary mix as I wanted to. All right. Alrighty. Now let's go to the bus section to clear up the bus section right quick. Okay. The bus section allows you to send any channel to a bus for groups. And what the only thing that you really need to know about this is if you want to use, instead of, you don't want to use buses, you can automatically just assign your channels to the master bus here. But if you want to assign to groups or buses, you can do that by here. Now, one key note on the bus. Now there is a solo, just like there's on a solo for each one of these channels. There's also a solo for the buses, but there's also a mono or stereo here on the buses. So you can make each one of these send to the left and right. You can, in other words, normally you can separate these to make these working as a left and right, or you can make each bus work to go to left and right speakers by itself. Okay? And what I mean by that, I'm gonna use my microphone as an example. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to route through a bus. I'm gonna take my microphone again. I'm going to send it to bus. I'm gonna send to bus. So instead of going to the master bus, I'm going to send it to a group, a bus. Now I'm going to undo it, bring the fader up, and that's going to now come to the master bus, right? Test 1 2, test 1 2, right? Now what I can do is you'll see here I have it in the center. Even though I have the pan in the center here, if you look at the meter bridge, it's only going to the left. And that's because here is up. So it's only going to bus 1 by itself. If I want to go to both sides to come out as a stereo, all I would do is push this. I push this button down, and now you can see it's going to come out both speakers. Okay? So if I can go left, I can pan this to the left, or I can pan this to the right. Okay. Now, if I do the panning here to the left, even though I can see both signals, I'm not going to get the right signal until I bring this one up. Okay. Now, as you can see, on that bus, now it's going to the right only. If I go here, you see it's going to both. So let me do that one more time. I'll put it to the right only. So I'll bring the right group fader up, because that's sending to group 2. That's sending to group 2. So I brought the group 2 up. Now you can see it's coming 2, and you can see it's coming out the right side. Okay? I can turn this to the left, and it's going to come out both. Right? I turn it to the left, it's still going to come out. Let me put it here. I turn it to the center, it's still coming out both. I turn it to the left, it's still coming out both. I turn it to the right, it's only going to come out right. It's going to come out right because of this, and it works the same way. It works the same way if I push this. Okay. All right. I push that down. It's coming out both. Turn this here to the center, to the right. It's going to come out both. Because I got on the right, put it in the center, still going to come out both. But if I turn it to the left, it's only going to come out the left. Okay? Coming out the left. It's only going to come out the left. So if I want these to work individually, I lift that up. So those are up. So now, when I got it assigned to group 1, if I go to the left, it's only going to come out the left. Because I got it panned to the left here. I turn it to the center, it's going to come out both. Because I got it in the center here. I turn it to the right, now it's only going to come out the right. As you can see here. Because these are up. So you put these in the center, you put this in the center here. From the right or the left, you put it in the center. And when you send it to this bus, they now work individually of each other. So that's going to the left. That's going to bring up both. That's only going to go to the right. Okay? They're going to work independently of each other. You push these down, they work in conjunction with each other, irregardless of what you got on the bus here, on the buses here, irregardless if you push the buses here, left or right, based on what position of the group, the master, you push those down, the master's still going to see both. Irregardless of the position, the master's going to see both. As you can see, irregardless of the position of the faders, the master's going to see both signals coming out the master. Right here, okay? You bring them up. Now, if you want the buses, and you want the master bus to work independently of each other based on the bus position, you bring these up. And now what's going to happen is the master bus is going to work based on the position of each individual bus volume there. So if I only bring just the left one up, it's only going to see left in the signal on the master bus. I bring the right one up, it's going to see both. Bring the right one up, it's only going to see the right. That makes sense, okay? Now, these two buttons here assigns it to the master. Because I undo it, nothing's going to go to the master. But a lot of times you say, well, with that being up and nothing go to the master, but I still see metering, why would I want to do that? Right? Because I may not want signal to come out of my master bus, but I might be recording from this channel to a master bus, and I might have some outputs coming out of my master bus output to go into my DAW, right? So if I have master bus, for example, you see here, I'll zoom in, you probably are seeing and because I have it set to a single channel, left and right, because I'm only using the left of my direct out. I'm only using, oh man, let me get back my camera skills. You only see one signal instead of a stereo because I'm only using one direct out cable, right? Let me get that. Okay. You only got one because I'm only using one direct out cable, right? So irregardless of the position that I have here, if I turn this to the left, I can turn this to the right or whatever, irregardless of my, let me bring this camera back a little bit better. Got to get better on my camera skills. Okay. Irregardless of the here right or not, the busters or whatever, irregardless, the DAW, because it's seeing output from the direct out of that particular channel, and I only got one cable in the channel, right? Here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the bus outputs. So I'm going to undo the bus. I'm going to come from a direct out. I'm going to use both of these direct outs, and I'm going to plug these direct outs. I'm going to plug into the bus outs 1 and 2 here. The direct outs are going to come out of buses 1 and 2 here. Okay. Now that those are coming out of direct outs 1 and 2, now what's going to happen? Okay, there we go. Now what's going to happen is now my DAW, I'm going to zoom back in now. As I talk, now you'll see two signals. I have two here, right here. Let me zoom back out. So now I have two individual signals coming out of the bus because I got them coming out the bus out. I got this channel being routed from the channel of this microphone into my DAW. I can see that there's going out, so the two outputs, there's two signals there now. And in the DAW, as I zoom in, you'll see two signals now. As you zoom in, right? So how am I going to hear these two signals? I don't want to hear them through the master. I just want to monitor that. Well, all I have to do now, undo these two. My tape returns, I lifted these two buttons here, shift them up, and now I can hear my DAW on my return from my audio interface. The channels that are coming out of my interface here are into these channels here, and now I can hear it on channels 1 and 2 because I'm monitoring through the DAW output of the interface into channels 1 through my mix B, which is now my monitor. So I can hear the microphone now. So if I want to hear through the monitor, I only want to monitor. I don't want to use the master, irregardless of the position here. I only want to hear just what I'm recording from the monitor on the channel. As you can see, all right. But you might have a tiny bit of latency. I gotta watch my camera skills. So I can monitor from the DAW output into the console through my mix B as a monitor. Once I record something, I can turn the mix B into a secondary mix instead of a monitor mix by flipping this button. Now I got my master fader. I can bring this up. I can listen to the fader, right? So now I can listen to the fader on the microphone here through the faders, right? Through the faders. Instead of my mix B, I'm listening to the master through my fader because I'm once I did all my recording, I'm going to mix. So now I don't have to worry about monitoring no more. I can go ahead and use the secondary mix. Instead of a monitor mix, I can use it as a secondary mix because I want an A-B. So that makes sense. So all based on how you have between the switches So it lets you switch between A and B based on the switch position. And also you can use bus, you know, because so sometimes people say, well, why would I want to use the bus to record? Why can't I just use the direct out? Well, you can. If you want to run 24 direct outs into your interface, you can. Or you can use the bus outputs, and you can. Like, for example, for me, I have compressors. Like this compressor right here is going. This compressor that's going right now is on this top one is on the bus 1 and 2 insert. So I have it inserted on buses 1 and 2. So that's my bus compressor for 1 and 2 is this one right here. I can do same thing. I can hit 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now I can, so if I bring up all these, so if I don't want to use this bus compressor, if I can go to B or whatever, or I can go to B, bring up B. All I have to do is assign it, you know, and now it's going to B, right? And let me turn, okay. Now it's going to B, so I got this compressor on B, or I can turn this off and go to C, which let me see. Yep, and then I can bring up C, 1, 2, and now it's going to the BB Sonic Maximizer, right? 1 on 3, or I can go to 4. It's going to 4, 1, 2. So I can bring up 4. And now it's going through the DBX 166, right? Compressor. That's on 4. Okay. So it depends on which bus I want to route through to be, because I have a piece of gear on one of those. Depends on what I want to do, but you don't have to do it that way. I can set it to I can set this channel 9 to master or whatever, and whatever I want to have inserted on the master. In this case, the master bus, my master bus has an insert going to this compressor right here. All right. For my master. So, excuse me. So with that being said, okay, I hope this clears up how you can use the console. I hope that helps you clear up how you can use the console. And part 3, because it is late, in part 3, I'm going to run a track. I'm going to record a couple of tracks, and then I'm going to show you how you can record. I'm going to record from direct out. I'm going to record from the direct out, the channel, the direct out, and or the buses using the bus compressor, and you can group or whatever the case may be. And then I'm going to show you how you can print from your master. You can group your masters and so forth. Even though I kind of did that in the other video, but that way, now let's show you how you can, because also on here, not only do I have, for example, if I wanted to use, let me undo this. Let me go to undo this. Now I'm talking, right? Through the master, but I want to use mix B or whatever. But I'm going to use the master. I'm going to use the channel A, the chain. I'm going to send, this is going through reverbs, right? So now I'm going to bring up the reverb unit. Like, now you can hear, I did a return. I sent from channel 9. I did an auxiliary send out. That's going into this unit right here on the top. And I got a return. So now you can hear the return from that unit coming there. That's if I wanted to use the reverb. I'm also going to talk about the assignment, how you can assign. So I'm going to talk about this section next on how you can assign your reverbs to your master or to your buses. or 2 other auxiliaries. That's going to be in the next video. So that's about done for this video. I hope this helps explain a little bit more in depth the console, if that makes sense. So in conjunction with how, if you watch the other 2 videos on how I would use an analog console in my studio and how a route, I'm explaining using the Eurodesk. And I hope these 2 videos for if you have a Eurodesk, like a Behringer Eurodesk, I hope this makes sense on how it works. And that's going to do it for this video. So I'll do a part 3, and then that should give you a complete understanding of how to use the console, and you can understand how extremely powerful this console can really get if you know how to use it. Other than that, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one.